Alright, John. So this is where we left off, and we're pretty much done with this first part, but this is just a sample question, something really similar to what you're going to see on your homework. So let's read through this together and then move on to something else. So the question says that car manufacturers want to explore the desirability of installed infant car seats in new car designs. Which of the following would provide an unbiased sample for a survey? So the keyword there is unbiased. So biased means that we're only asking a certain group of people. So that's a biased sample. So if it's unbiased, that means that we're asking a bunch of different people who have different beliefs and different, beliefs about the subject matter. So choice 1 is adults at a car show. Choice 2 is a group of teenagers at a park, adult shoppers at Price Chopper with young children in the shopping carts, or couples signing up to win a honeymoon package at a bridal expo. So the reason why number 4 wouldn't work is because couples signing up to win a honeymoon package at a bridal expo, they probably all have the same sort of beliefs and feelings about car seats or infant car seats, because you're pretty much going and asking one set group of people. You're asking all those people who are all getting married right now, that all want to win a honeymoon. They all probably say, oh, I want to have kids, this would be so great, blah, blah, blah. They all feel exactly the same way, so that is a biased sample. Adult shoppers at a Price Chopper with young children in the shopping cart, they already have kids. You're only asking people who have kids. You're going to get a biased sample if you're only asking a group of people who all have kids. So that doesn't work either. A group of teenagers at a park, you're only asking teenagers. You're only asking one set group of people, and they certainly probably have interesting views or beliefs about infant car seats and kids anyways, so you wouldn't want to ask them. That's definitely a biased sample. Adults at a car show, that is going to be our answer. And the reason why is because it's the most general or spread out sample that you could possibly get. Adults at a car show, maybe some of them have kids, some of them don't have kids, some of them have a job, some of them don't have a job. Maybe some of them have their teenagers with them, some of them have their little kids with them. It's a unbiased sample because it's a bunch of different people from different walks of life and everything. Okay? So that was all the information on observational study, experimental study, and survey. Now what we're going to do is talk about measures of central tendency. So it sounds like it's really complicated and weird, but you've actually already done all of this stuff before. Measures of central tendency are just mean, median, and mode. So you're looking at a set of data, and the measures of central tendency are the mean, median, and mode. So mean on your calculator, and I'm going to show you it in 1 second. The mean is symbolized by X with a bar on top of it, and you read it as X bar, and I'm going to show you that in 1 second. But the mean is just the average of the data. And how do you find the average of something? You add up all of the scores and then you divide by however many scores that you had. So you add them all up and then you divide by 5 or you divide by 6. So what you do to find the mean is you add up the sum and then you divide by the frequency or how many of those scores that you have. Okay? The median. The median is the middle part of the information. The middle set of the data. And it's the middle when you have everything listed out in order. So from the lowest, or from the smallest to the highest, if you have them all listed out in numerical order, then you find out which one is right in the middle. That's your median. It's not when everything's all jumbled together and you just pick the one that happens to be in the middle. You have to list them out in numerical order first. If you have an odd number of data points, then you're always going to find a median because there's always going to be one that sits in the middle. If you have an even number, you're going to count towards the middle and you're going to find two of them. So if you're looking for the median or the middle and there's an even number, you have to say, all right, I counted all the way into the middle and then I have a 93 and a 95. Well, what's the median? You find the middle in between those two. So your median in that case would be a 94. Okay? So even though 94 isn't actually one of your pieces of information in the data, it's the middle point of your information. And then the mode, everybody always remembers mode is what is listed the most. It's the most frequent set of point in the data. The data that occurs the most. So people get a little bit confused with mode. Let me explain. If you have a set of data that has 30, 35, 40, and 45, what's the mode? Well, absolutely none of these repeat more than any of the others, so there is no mode. What if I had 30, 30, 40, 40, 45, 45? What's the mode? There is no mode because none of these repeat more than the other. Even though there's two of these, and two of these, there's no one point of information that is listed more than the others. If you had 30, 30, 40, 45, 45, and 50, then you actually have two modes. Because the 45s and the 45s, they're listed more than the other points. So your two modes would be 30 and 45. Okay, so there's just a couple of different things to keep track of when you are doing mode. But for the most part, you're going to be asked really easy questions. What's the mode? Figure out if one is listed more than the other. And now what I'm going to do is show you how to use the graphing calculator to find mean, median, and mode. So if you have your graphing calculator out in front of you, that's awesome. If you don't have it, pause the video right now and go grab it because you're going to need it. This is how we input data into our calculator because statistics is the study of numbers and how we interpret them. So in the stats course, you're really going to be listing in numbers a lot, like all of the time, and then using that information to analyze something. So let's see here. I'm going to get an example for you. 1 second. Okay. Okay. So when you're going to input data into the calculator, the first thing that you're going to do is push this button right here that says Stat. Obviously, we're in the Stats chapter, so we're going to use the Stat button a lot. And then you're going to hit Edit. That's the first button right there. I'm going to teach you more things about these other buttons as well, but for right now, you're just going to go to Edit. And then it comes up with a screen that has a bunch of lists. It goes List 1, List 2, List 3. If you move your cursor over, there's, I think, all the way up to List 5. And you're going to use these lists to list out pieces of information, then find out information about them. So the best part about, being in Trig and having a graphing calculator is that if you have to find mean, median, and mode, you don't have to do it yourself. The calculator will do it for you. So if I have some values, if I have 9, 11, 7, 10, I don't know, maybe this is like pairs of shoes that somebody has. I have no idea. It doesn't matter in this case. 8, 13. Alright, so I have all this information and I want to figure out what the mean, the median, and the mode are. Well, I'm going to go back to my Stat button, hit Stat, and instead of going into Edit this time, I'm going to move my cursor one over to Calc, or calculate. And I'm always, 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 always going to use this first button, one variable stats. Remember that very first page that I showed you said that all the stuff that we're doing in this class is univariate statistics, one variable stats. Okay, so you're not going to use that other button at all in this class. If you choose to take statistics, the college level in class, next year for school, then you'll probably use two variable statistics. But for right now, it's always just one variable stats. You're going to do one variable stats, and then you have to tell the calculator, well, where is your information? Where did you write your list? Because remember how I said there's list 1, list 2, list 3, all the way up to like list 5 or 6? Well, you have to tell your calculator where you put that information. So right above the 1 button, you can see that it says in blue L1. That's list 1. Over the second button, that's L2. That's list 2. And here's list 3, list 4, list 5, list 6. So I'm going to tell my calculator, hey, I put my information in list 1 by doing second 1. That's in list 1. And then I'm going to hit enter. It's going to give me a ton of information about the numbers that I just punched in. And we're going to, learn about all of this stuff. But what I want you to notice right now is if I want to figure out the mean, the median, and the mode. Remember how I told you that the mean is read as X bar? Well, here's that X bar right there. It's the first one that's listed. X with a bar right over it is equal to 9.625. So all those numbers that I typed in, instead of having to do out the math and figure out what the mean was by yourself, the calculator just did it for you. So the mean, or my X bar, is equal to 9.625. Which is really cool. So you don't have to add them all up and then divide by the number that we had. Now I want to figure out where the median is. And if I scroll down, this n is equal to 8. That means that I typed in 8 numbers. If I had typed in 2 more, it would say n is equal to 10. That just tells you how many numbers you typed in. So if I go down, it says the minimum value that I typed in was 2. So the smallest number I typed in was 2. Right here it says the median, the middle number. If I listed out all of those values in numerical order and I found where the middle was, the middle or the median was 9.5, which is pretty cool because we don't have to do it ourselves. The maximum number was 17, and then I'm going to teach you about this Q1 and Q3 in a little while. For mode, the calculator doesn't have a button that can tell you what mode is, and the reason why is because for mode all you have to do is look to see which one was listed the most. So if you forgot, you can always go back to stat, go back into edit where your list is. It's still right here, and then just check, do any of these numbers, do they repeat? Is any one of these numbers listed more frequently than the others? 9, 11, 7, 10, 2, 17, 8, 13. None of them repeat, so we have no mode. Alright? So I think that that is pretty easy. It's not too bad. I think that I am going to let you do this question in your calculator. So if you want to just pause the video right now and try to do it by yourself in your calculator, that would be awesome. Find the median of the following set of data. You could do it out by hand by listing these in numerical order, but I think that that's pretty annoying. You could use your calculator instead. The only other thing that I want to show you is that in order to clear out this list, because let's just say that there's already numbers in there that you were using for something else. In order to clear it, all you have to do is move your cursor up onto the L1, hit clear, enter, and there you go. It's all ready for you to do another one. So I'm going to stop this right now, let you figure out what the median is, and I'll be right back.